All right, hello and welcome everybody. I'm really glad that you could be here today. I have been getting very busy and I haven't had time to cast much of Alchemy League, but hopefully we'll be able to get some good sets in today and maybe even tomorrow as well. Big shout out to Hyder and Cookie Pirate for helping to cast some sets from Alchemy League for Season 1, and I'm sure that they will also cast some sets for, or sorry, not Season 1, Sprint 1, and I'm sure they'll cast some sets for Sprint 2 as well. Actually, I think Cookie might have done some casting in Season 1, but not Hyder. That was a long time ago. That was almost a year ago, actually. So, as you guys may know, those of you watching, Alchemy League Season 4 is Alaska-themed. So we've got 8 custom Alaska maps that the players get to play on. It's basically like the ranked pool, basically, except the maps are Alaska-themed and a little bit special. Hey, Mighty Space Fruit, welcome. At least we do our best to make them special. Some people feel that they're too similar. Some people say that they're too different. So you can never really please everybody, but we do our best to develop custom maps for players to get exposure to and to play on. We don't have a lot of prize money available, so we can't really ask a lot of the players in terms of the length of each round and each set, if you will. It's play all 2. So we're going to see Alexander and Mighty Space Fruit play 2 games, and then we'll see Wizanatic and E1ST play 2 games. And it'll take about an hour and a half. Let's take a look at the ELOs that we're going to be looking at today. We're lucky in Alchemy League to have a relatively wide assortment of skill levels available to us. Now, for this season, I think we're a little bit biased toward the 2Ks. We've got more high skill players than low skilled players, and I think that's just a matter of tuning our handicap system a little bit better to attract some of the lower elo players. But we've got this really advanced hybrid matchmaking system that we do. It includes all kinds of things. It includes win rate, and then it determines a tournament elo, and it stacks all the players up, and the top level guys are playing against each person in the top is playing against 3 other people nearby to them, and it's structured in such a way that you don't need divisions. You can basically get everybody 4 sets against unique players by just matchmaking people that are close to you. It sounds easy, but it was not trivial to program. So we've got Alexander versus Biscuits today. Biscuits is also known as the Mighty Space Fruit, and it's about basically 1,400 versus 1,500 players. So Biscuits with a skill disadvantage, but this is Alchemy League. The maps are a little bit different, and you never know. There could be an upset. We try our best to match people to nearby skill levels. We don't always give them enough handicap, I feel, to compete well, but that's one of those things where you don't want to overdo that. So we'll probably be dialing that up for future seasons of the league. But nevertheless, I expect that Biscuits and Alexander are close enough that it should be some pretty competitive sets. And then after that, we're going to look at Wizanatic versus E1ST, both around 2K players. Again, an ELO difference of about 100. It's kind of ideal. So let's take a look now at their map draft. So the map of the round, for this particular round, it's round 5, is Columbia by Tech Chariot. And then they take turns discarding maps until they end up with one that is the least scary in both of their minds. And that is Yukon Gold Rush. So this is their civilization draft. It just consists of 3 global bands apiece. And Alexander bans the Byzantines, the Persians, and the Georgians. And Mighty Space Fruit, aka Biscuits, bans the Saracens, the Mongols, and the Huns, given that those are the 2 maps that they'll be playing on. So with the players having been introduced, we'll introduce the players a little bit more, but we'll jump into the game now. Alright, so on the left-hand side, we have Biscuits playing as the Blue Aztecs, and on the right-hand side of the map, we have Alexander playing as the Yellow Incas. So this is a Mesoamerican civilization. Pardon the political incorrectness. This is a New World civilization matchup here. These are both civilizations that have access to Eagle Warriors, which is pretty cool. And it looks like they got a generation where there's no ice. Oh no! Well, that's a bug. Oh well. So right off the bat, we note that this terrain is all buildable. I don't think it really, honestly, should affect very much. But we might see some more forward aggression this way. That's really funny. The glacier's just kind of all... I mean, there's a little bit of ice up here in the hills, but it looks like it all just melted and got absorbed. Oops. Well, that's kind of embarrassing right off the bat. Who made this map, anyway? But sometimes there's just this dumb bug where it just does that, and I can't get rid of it. And I fought it, and I thought I got rid of most of them, but I guess I didn't quite get rid of all of them. I guess it still doesn't look too bad. I mean, it's still a glacial valley. The challenging part is that there's still some ice up here, so it doesn't completely look perfect. But, I guess it's alright. It's okay. As long as we... No. It is already a summer version, right? So, but I appreciate your confidence, Biscuits. So, what are we going to see here? Well, we still have the gold bar down here. And we still have the monks. So, it really is not that much of a bugged map. It would have been nice, because in the sense that it doesn't change gameplay. You still have the monks showing up over here, the gold showing up down here. This is supposed to be a glacier that carves through here. But it looks like the glacier has melted. And it hasn't been through here for a while, because there are actually trees growing. So, there's some ice here, but I guess it just seeps into the ground and eventually makes its way out to the ocean. Then in that case, there could be fish up in here, but there are not. So it's just not really intended to be that way, but it is that way, and the players will have to adapt. The important thing is that it's not a bug that is causing some unfair situation. So you start with all of these berry bushes underneath your town center, and it looks like Biscuits is not immediately, but he's pretty quickly going forward to hunt these deer. He has loom, so that's an important thing. He's going to kill the deer, and then he's probably just going to build a mill here. Maybe he'll long distance the deer, but that seems unlikely. This seems like a lot of villagers to long distance some deer. Meanwhile, Alexander, let's take a look from his point of view. See if we can figure out what the players are working on. Alexander only has 2 on wood, and he... What in the world, Alexander? Oh, no. A little bit of Alexander greed here. I'm not really sure what this is all about. He wanted to... Okay, he does manage to win that fight. That is because the villager had a hill advantage. But now this villager is very wounded. Alexander found this bear, and he wants to mill these forage bushes and that bear simultaneously. And that was almost a disaster for him. The bears on the Alaska maps have food. So the bears act like boars. But they're not just any boars, they're iron boars. So Alexander's going to finish this mill, and now he's going to attack this bear. And the bears do 12 damage apiece. And so Alexander losing a village there, I think he was not expecting the bears to be so powerful. But he loses a villager, and the bear dies in an inconvenient way in between some trees. So it's hard for his villagers to gather efficiently from. I'm surprised that we made it this far into the tournament with Alexander not knowing how powerful the bears are. He basically... Did he just get loom? I'm not sure. It seemed like he did not have loom when the bear was attacking, or maybe the bear had a hill advantage, but I'm sure that Biscuits will be very happy about that if he knew about it. Now this eagle is somewhat injured. I wonder what happened there. Is Biscuits' eagle injured as well? No, it is not. So this eagle somehow got injured a different way. I think maybe it got too close to the bear. I'm not sure. The main difference is you can build on the middle and there are no Gaia herdables. Oh, that's true. So that could be why Alexander's coming back this way. He's like, oh shoot, there's no sheep. I better take these bears in the back. The good news is that it affects both players equally. I honestly think that there are too many herdables in the center. I think I should have dialed that back. Oh well. But I'm wondering how Alexander's Eagle Scout was injured. I wonder if it fought a bear or something. I think he came over here and he was starting to get converted, and maybe he ran away and this bear swiped at him. Okay, so Alexander did seem to know about it. He may have just forgotten. Alexander's building a barracks. I like this. This barracks will allow Alexander to pressure the mighty space fruit. You can go water on this map. Let's see what the Mighty Space Fruit is doing, aka Biscuits. He has milled the deer as we predicted, and he's building a house out here for some vision. And then he's building a mining camp here, because this is his gold that he's going to take. So guys, the gold situation on this map is not good. You have a 2-tile gold, a 3-tile gold, and then I think one more 3-tile gold. So you really need to push out for gold. You either need to go to this gold bar here, this moraine, that got pushed down the side of the mountain. The glacier came all the way out here, and this is the terminal moraine. Or you have to go up here and collect the relics. So we can see that Biscuits is on his way up to the feudal age. He's almost there. He's probably got just a few more seconds. Alexander is already in the feudal age, though. We see another quick, brief scout fight, but Alexander cannot afford to fight that because his scout is weaker. So Biscuits is feudal age as well. He has built another mill here, and he is really harvesting those deer. He's taking advantage of them. It's coming back here to see what Alexander has for a wood line. Alexander building defensive skirmishers. So I think Alexander feels like he's on the defensive a little bit. I don't know who just opens skirmishers for fun, but he's going to come here and he's going to try to mess with this. Now the scout is not very strong, but nevertheless Biscuit's pulling back. He's not going to fight the 2 skirmishers and the weak scout. Biscuit says he thinks that Alexander's scout was under his town center. Ah, well that would explain it. Alright, so Biscuits has built a barracks as well, and he's building a blacksmith. Neither player has docked. You know, sometimes the players build docks on this map, sometimes they don't. Sometimes one player builds a dock and the other doesn't. I think it just depends on what you want to go for. We can see what Biscuits is going for, though. He's got 2 eagles. Eagles would be highly effective against trash units, which is what Alexander is making. So Alexander's going to need to change his plan here, because these eagles, they already have the first armor upgrade, and these skirmishers are dealing 2 damage apiece. Or base attack, rather, 2. So the eagle's pierce armor is 3, and even if these skirmishers had fletching, giving them +1, they would still only deal 1 damage per hit to these eagles. See, look at that. This is pathetic. These skirmishers are not good against the eagles. The only thing keeping them alive is their micro. But now these eagles are just going to ignore the skirmishers, and they're going to come here and they're going to go after Alexander's villager. This villager, I think, is going to die. Nope, she gets away. She manages to get away and takes some health off of the eagle, which is a good exchange for Biscuits. Maybe Biscuits can swing back in here and kill this villager. But he is going eagles. And, oh, look at this. Alexander built another eagle, but sadly got trapped in the reeds. This guy is just watching, so not much you can do about that. I mean, he could delete it if he were pop-capped, but he's not pop-capped. No point in deleting it. No point in deleting any of the buildings either. He's probably going to want another eagle. But the eagle numbers are growing here for Biscuits. We can see 5 of them on the battlefield on our screen so far. Probably more coming. There is a single barracks, and he is doubling down. He's built another barracks. Let's see if Biscuits is mass-producing these eagles. Yes, he is. He's building eagles from both barracks, and he's building a market as well. So eagles are expensive. They take a lot of gold, but in the feudal age, I feel that they are an effective unit. There's not a lot that counters them cost-effectively. I mean, you could go man-at-arms, but then you'll be stuck in feudal age the whole game. One way or another, it would be ending. It would end in feudal age, I should say. So I'm not really sure why Biscuits is so afraid of these skirmishers. Maybe the Incas get some kind of skirmisher bonus that has... Oh, he finally deletes it. He deletes it. He decides he's done with the skirmishers. And Alexander decides to free his eagle. He thinks he's going to need it. Biscuits coming in here for some villager pickoffs. I don't know if he's going to get anything. He's only got 4 units. He pulls back. Going to see if he can find a weak villager along the wood line, but there are no weak villagers along the wood line, and I think he just has to get out of there. Just not having good luck. There's too many skirmishers. Mighty Space Fruit. He says, I like eagles here too because you have to play for map control for the gold. Yeah, eagles are a fast unit. They are good for map control. These guys swooping in. I did not see whether or not they killed the villager. I don't think they did, though. There's still 5 eagles. Let's see how close Alexander is to clicking up to the castle age. He's not close at all. He only has 1 on food. Alexander's people are starving. Maybe if Alexander had gotten some more sheep, it would be a different situation. But he basically is forced into building all of these farms. He could potentially... Let's see his fog of war. He does know about this food bear back here, but he isn't going for it, which is kind of suspicious. Maybe he's a bit worried. Okay, now Alexander has a decent number on food. It's because he's picking berries. Maybe Alexander's afraid of these food bears now. Food bear killed a villager, and he became nervous from that. So Biscuit's coming in for the fight. It looks like 1 eagle goes down, but a villager goes down. And will another villager go down? Biscuits is looking to get that final villager kill. Is he going to get it? I think he did. I believe he did get that villager kill. So I think 2 villagers went down for Alexander. Maybe almost 3. There are a lot of wounded villagers over here. Biscuit's losing his entire army, but I think it was worth it. And he's got some other eagles. Neither player has built a dock yet, which is an interesting choice. Let's see how close Biscuits is to clicking up to the next stage. He's actually already clicked. He's about 1/3 of the way up to Castle Age. Let's check on Alexander's progress. Alexander does not have the resources to click up, but he will shortly. And Alexander is mirroring Biscuit's eagle choice. Making eagles will have less of an impact on his advancement time, but it will still slow things down. Alexander deciding he hasn't seen much from his opponent, so let's go and see if we can do some damage now. Maybe he assumed that his opponent stopped investing in land military, which is kind of true, I guess. Biscuits only has four eagles left. He seemed to have stopped making them. Alexander clicks up to the Castle Age. Let's go and take a look at Biscuits' point of view, though. He's probably about to hit. Yeah. He's got a few more seconds. He's got a huge farming economy here. Aztec economy is good. The villagers carry extra resources. I think +3. Biscuit's forced to relocate off of this gold. He doesn't want to risk it. But now he's in the Castle Age, and Alexander is getting out of here. Alexander does not want to deal with the upgraded eagles. If I were Biscuits, I would be upgrading my Eagle Scouts to Eagle Warriors, and I would be getting the next armor upgrade. This is an interesting TC choice from Biscuits. I guess it secures some wood for him, which is kind of what he wants. Did he not find his other gold over here? No, he did not. That's unfortunate. He could have built the town center right here, and he could have secured that gold and that wood. But right now, this is kind of his weak point. He knows only about this gold. He doesn't know about this gold down here. See, there's a gold right here he doesn't know about. And he doesn't know about this gold over here. So he has found only one. Biscuits has only found one of his player-controlled golds. But he, of course, knows that there's a ton of gold down here. So, I mean, it's not like he's going to run out of gold and then be like, oh, well, I just can't take gold anymore. There's no more gold on the map. It will force him to relocate. Oops, down here. Alexander, Castle Age. Biscuit's not really getting the chance to do damage before hitting Castle Age, except unless you count, if you don't count the villager kills. What I meant is he came over here with earlier Castle Age to do some damage, but Alexander has reached Castle Age too, so they're kind of close together. He does manage to get Alexander to withdraw, though, to pull off of this gold here. And Alexander is not on wood, he's not on gold, he's just on food. Let's take a look at Alexander's resources. Alexander actually has resources, and he's interestingly making slingers. The slingers are like hand cannoneers, but for the Incas. They're essentially gunpowder units without the gunpowder. They deal bonus damage to infantry, and they are crappy against everything else. And only the Incas get them. So it's very smart for Alexander to be making slingers at this time, because he sees that there are a lot of eagles from Biscuits. Alexander going to build a beautiful TC back here. This town center will secure this gold, or what's left of it, and it'll secure some wood. And these eagles looking for a way in, can't find it. This side appears to be too well covered. I would actually come around here. Like, this is literally open. True, there is a bear and there's a wolf here, but it's fine. It really is fine. So this town center will go up, and Alexander will be able to sustain production from 2 town centers. It looks like Biscuits is not really going to commit to an attack. Biscuits, of course, having already built his 2nd town center first. And he's built an outpost back here because probably he wants to see if there are more food bears. And what's the answer to that? The answer is no, there are no more food bears, at least not in this location. There is a food bear here, and there's another one here, but this outpost cannot see it. I like this, though. We got archery ranges, and we got another barracks from Biscuits. So Biscuits is not doing a 3-town center or even a 4-town center boom. I think he's happy on 2 town centers, and now he's just going to invest in a military. We see that he's making skirmishers. He's getting skirmisher armor. So he is expecting slingers, and he wants a counter unit for them. But unfortunately for Biscuits, he's got to relocate off of this gold. What is this right here, though? This is really unfortunate. Oh, okay. All right, he sends them back. I was going to say, Earth to Biscuits, there's an enemy army over here. He's forced to take this fight with his eagles, try to keep his villagers safe. And what is he like, does he want to delete this house and build a town center? What are these villagers doing here? The eagles go down, and Alexander's army is victorious in this location. Biscuits is forced to withdraw. He does have a few skirmishers, but he's outnumbered. He took the fight before he was ready. And now I think Alexander is in the driver's seat here. Let's take a look at villager count between the 2 players. So, although Biscuits actually does have a much larger villager population, he's got 67 villagers to Alexander's 41, because he was in Castle Age sooner. But more of his economy is idle because Alexander is here with a counter unit that Biscuits cannot deal with right now. Slingers are going to come around. And if you're Biscuits, you just keep making skirmishers. So probably Alexander's going to see these skirmishers. If we switch to Alexander's point of view, he's going to see large numbers of skirmishers, and he's going to start making more eagles. So I would not be surprised to see Alexander making some. Yep, there they are right there. So it's like, okay, I need more eagles. So it's basically going to be skirmishers and eagles versus slingers and eagles. And I think Slinger Eagle will win eventually, but Alexander doesn't have the numbers for it at this time. Biscuits has driven him off. Neither player has claimed the center here. Neither player has come up here for the relics. They're afraid of this location. The game just doesn't seem to go long enough. Maybe there are too many monks up here defending the relics. As always, though, remember that Alchemy League is standard victory, so you don't want to forget about relics, because it can trigger a victory condition. Uh-oh. So Alexander, through his vision, is able to see his opponent is closing in. His opponent has sent an army of skirmishers this way, and is sending more. And is sending some villagers forward, but I think that these villagers are gold miners. Biscuits is pretty much, I guess he's got a little bit of gold here still, but he wants to get on this gold bar down here, the moraine. So Alexander regrouping. Wonder what he's making now. It doesn't look like he's making any skirmishers, though he's getting armor for the eagles. Is Biscuits finally going to decide to come in around the back? That's what I want to know. Is Biscuits going to loop back here and get some juicy eco pickoffs? I don't think so. I think Biscuits is just here to keep an eye on whether or not Alexander is going for the relics. Okay, looks like Biscuits has found some stone, and he's sending an eagle around. Big wood lines up here on the top of the hill, as always. Could be really useful for Biscuits to get these relics, but I just don't know that it's worth it for him. I think the game will end before then. Biscuit says, I've gone for the relics plus a wonder on a previous game on this map. Oh, nice. As Aztecs? Did you go as Aztecs? See, he could build those monasteries right here, too. But he's preparing an attacking force instead. Just massing. Got 19 units here against 4. And then I guess there are a few more over here. Alexander really needs to... interesting. Alexander's building a monastery. I'm not sure what good a monastery will do him at this point, because there aren't really any knights out. But monasteries are very common for civilizations that are up against non-meso civs. But I would think that there would be too many eagles. So I don't know. Alexander might be thinking about going to check out the relic situation, see if he can get some free relics. The Aztec Relic Gold is great. That it is. And Biscuit's adding another town center in this location that I described. He just didn't know about it earlier, which is why he didn't build there. And he's taking some gold down here. Neither player has built a dock. Neither player's really wanted to build a dock. I don't know. Ooh! Town center denied for Alexander. I think he should delete that foundation. The Eagles are just going to come in and destroy it. Yep, that's unfortunate. He has some slingers, but there are just too many skirmishers. You know what he might need? He might need a mangonel. I feel like Alexander needs a mangonel. The slingers could kill the Eagles, and the mangonel could kill the skirmishers. Alexander has to get out of here. He can't take gold. Alexander is out of safe gold. There was a gold back here, but he mined it all out. And there's a gold here, 2 tiles, and there's 3 tile gold there that he cannot take because there's enemy army in the way. So now Biscuits' army is rampaging through Alexander's economy. He's idled these farms, and he's taken villagers off of this gold. Alexander needs to find another source of gold, or this is going to be over very quick. He has 933 gold, and he actually has the resources to click up to the Imperial Age, but even if he had the buildings, I'm not sure that he would go. It's just, what's he going to do with it, right? So what? You have no army. Alright, he's choosing to make more Eagles now. These are elite skirmishers, so they're even more difficult for his slingers to deal with. Biscuit's pulling back. Alexander's at 71 villagers, which is pretty impressive. Let's take a look at Biscuits' villager count. He is just now getting stone mining and gold mining, which is funny. But he is up to 100 villagers at this point. So Biscuits is fully boomed with that Aztec eco, and he is definitely considering clicking up to the Imperial Age, I would imagine. No ballistics, though, for Biscuits. So these skirmishers are missing the Eagles. Alexander has gone back onto this gold. I don't really know why Biscuits had to withdraw from this. It seems like Biscuits could have just camped this for as long as he wanted, and Alexander would have been in big trouble. But Biscuits has discovered that Alexander's chopped through, so Alexander has to be careful. He's relocate over here. His town centers are shooting the Eagles, but these Eagles are getting to the point where they're standard Eagle warriors with all the armor upgrades for Castle Age, and so they kind of don't care about this town center, especially because the town center only has fletching. It doesn't have bodkin, so therefore it doesn't do as much damage to the Eagles. Biscuits coming in for a raid. It's going to do some damage, but ultimately not very much. He'd do more damage if he just camped his army on this gold. Alexander coming out to deal with these skirmishers. And Alexander still hasn't clicked up yet. Let's take a look at Biscuits. Biscuits has Imperial Age queued up at this town center, but first it's important to build these 3 villagers before clicking up to the Imperial Age. Alexander, decent armor upgrades for his Eagles. He basically mirrors them. I don't know if the players have gotten Squires yet, but it seems like they're both the same speed. Actually, Alexander might be a little bit faster. So this relic, Alexander made a monk, but it doesn't really seem like that monk is able to go out and get any relics because Biscuits has been doing a good job of keeping Alexander away from those relics. Alexander deciding not to build this palisade. It's mostly done anyway. Send this lady off to build a farm. The monk heals her. Oh, okay, so he has this monk to kind of heal weak villagers, I guess. So it still works out. And somehow Alexander got this town center up too, actually, which is a really important win for him. So he has more gold access. Biscuits, I feel like Biscuits took his foot off the gas. Biscuits, though, he's on his way up to the Imperial Age. Let's see where Alexander is. Alexander's still Castle Age, investing in more Eagles to respond to Biscuits' army. So what's Biscuits going to do against a large-scale eagle invasion by Alexander. Because theoretically, if Alexander builds enough eagles, he can match Biscuit's eagle count. And the skirmishers are not a big deal against eagles. So does that mean that we're going to see a castle from Biscuits with Jags? That would actually be pretty insane. Jaguar warriors. They deal bonus damage against... Oh, no! Oh, no! Look at this pile of dead bodies around this bear. Oh, man, that's so bad. This bear has probably killed like 4 villagers. I bet what happened is that Biscuits sent a bunch of villagers to build this mill here, and then build a bunch of farms around it. And then the villagers that didn't have farms went to automatically pick these berries, but this bear was standing next to the berries and it killed them. And they only fought back one at a time. Alright, so Alexander is imping, and Biscuits is already almost Imperial Age. Just going to be there in a few more seconds. And Biscuits is making a play for the relics. He's sent his eagles up here and he's killed a bunch of holy men. So now we see the Aztec monks are coming forward. He's got a castle. I'm wondering if he's going to build Jaguar warriors, but probably not. He's on the gold here, but they could totally share this gold Lady and the Tramp style. They really wanted to, but Alexander hasn't made a play for it because he's still using the gold from his base. That's a classic on the map. That's true. The food bears, if you forget about them, they're very devastating. The other kind of weird thing about them is that if you build a tower or a town center, not a town center, but a tower or a castle, or have a garrison town center next to the food bears, they will automatically shoot at them. They are treated like wolves in that respect, even if you intended to get the food from that bear. This is a decent eagle raid from Alexander. He's in a couple of places here, picking off some villagers, trying to even the score. Let's take a look at Mighty Space Fruits' villager count, though. He's still got over 100 villagers, so, I mean, it's not a big deal. But it is annoying. And it puts him on the defensive, and it gives Alexander a chance, a little bit more time to come back. Let's take a look, though. Biscuits is collecting some relics. He's got the first wave of relics nearly in. Monk is going to drop off. I don't know what this monk is doing, though. This monk is taking the long way back. He's making another monastery to make sure that he can get all of the relics installed. Eagle raid here. Wow, look at all these dead eagles from all of these slingers. Now, incidentally enough, is Elite Slinger even a unit? The Mighty Space Fruit, aka Biscuits, has dropped a castle on this location. It's kind of on a glacial mound. And it is protecting this stone, which should belong to Alexander, but Alexander hasn't taken. He's still chopping some wood back here. He would probably like to build a lumber camp here, but there are some bears in the way, so he'll have to take care of that. And Mighty Space Fruit says no more raids. And he's walling off this edge of the map here. So it'll be harder for Alexander to get in here and do an eagle raid, which was pretty annoying. Actually, probably slowed him down a bunch. Elite Eagle Warriors, they have 8 Pierce Armor. They have 1 more base Pierce Armor relative to Eagle Warriors, and of course they have the Imperial Age Final Armor upgrade, giving them a total of 8. And the Mighty Space Fruit here, he's getting some relics. He's got a few relics left, so I don't think he's going to trigger the relic victory. Alexander building a defensive castle in this location. There are a bunch of eagles that are trying to get in. Alexander relocating his slingers to deal with those eagles. These are Imperial Age eagles. These are going to be devastating against woodlines. Alexander is fortunate to be able to wall this off quickly, but still, this eagle army afraid of this bear right here. Literally, Mighty Space Fruit could just come in. He could just walk right in, but he chooses not to because of respect for this bear, this food bear. Alexander losing his starting town center, but no town center, no problem. Just builds a mill so that he can continue to take from these farms. The Mighty Space Fruit, he's pop capped. Let's take a look at Alexander. He's got 142 population out of 200. These eagles are sweeping downward. They're probably going to look for some activity. But I think that the Mighty Space Fruit should be able to see... Oops. He should be able to see that Alexander is not down here. Yeah, he's got these eagles down here to keep an eye on it. Hey, Cookie Pirate, welcome. And he happens upon some farming economy. Oh no, Alexander, get out of here. This is a disaster. These villagers are just gonna like look. It's like 3 hits and a villager is dead to an eagle. This is not good. These are Imperial Age units. You cannot afford to be here. Big raid. Let's take a look at Alexander's villager count. 79. He's been hit hard by that. And he's got 30 military somewhere, approximately, but I'm not exactly sure where it is. Oh, okay, there were some slingers up here. And the bear is finally gone. So, somebody had the courage to kill that bear. But now there's just eagles everywhere in his economy, so Alexander has to relocate his slingers. Now, incidentally enough, is Elite Slinger a thing? You guys will have to remind me. And I think Alexander is running out of map here. He's got some sprawling farms, but he can't really take very much wood safely. I guess there's kind of this up here, and technically Biscuits is not in this location that he knows of so far, but there's not really otherwise many safe trees here. It looks like Alexander has a villager eating this bear. And Alexander's total villager count has dropped to 60, and he's got about 20 military, and he's got 20 idle villagers. So it looks like Biscuits is in command of this game now at this point. Biscuits has one more relic to get. He's sending this monk with the relic back accidentally. Oops. Alright, there it is. Here he comes. This monastery is full. Let's take a look at his gold count. We see that it's skyrocketing. He's managed to get all of the relics, and he's building a fortified wall here. I guess to make it harder to raid these monasteries. I would love to see a relic victory on this map, but I think that usually one of the players has had the chance to kill the other before relic victory is a thing. Alexander tenaciously holding on. He's got trebuchets setting up. He's a cockroach. He won't die. He's got these slingers and he's staying alive. At least for now. Mighty Space Fruit. Let's see. He's not looking at this location. Did Alexander go over here? Well, he's scouting it to see. And it looks like Alexander is still not over here. Alexander is able to just take this wood in the back. And let's take a look at Alexander's villager count. It's at 61. Mighty Space Fruit, he's just not that worried about it. He's about to garrison this relic. He'll probably delete a wall. Because it's just funny Age of Empires logic. It's faster to delete and rebuild a wall than it is to walk around. Oh, no. Alright, the monk is going to walk around. This castle goes down. It was destroyed for some reason. I'm not sure how. Missed it. Maybe there were some trebuchets. Not sure. Didn't see them. The relic and wonder victory is more appealing when the glacier is there. It's true. This is a bug. The glacier is supposed to be there. It's harder to push when you can't build forward production castles. So, let's see. Biscuits should have all of the relics. So, that means that the relic victory should be triggered. But it's not. So, Biscuits, did he not garrison all the relics for some reason? Is he missing one? Oh, there it is. He's getting it now. It must have been kind of behind these ruins. Skirmisher mirror battle. The eagles are coming forward to snipe the trebuchets. Alexander making a push for this castle. Is the trebuchet going to go down? Not to the eagles, but it's got 1 hit point left, so there it goes. This castle's very damaged. Alexander calling the GG after the trebuchets are destroyed. Good game, well played. I think the eagles were a good play from Biscuits. I think that the eagles ultimately are what did Alexander in. And that happened in the feudal age. I think that Alexander neglecting the bear or like underestimating the bear hurt him, but it did not kill him. What killed him was the eagle play in feudal age and Alexander reacting to it. So good game, well played, Biscuits. He came in with a plan and he executed that plan successfully and defeated an opponent who was 100 elo higher than him. So now let's take a look at the next. Oh, let's take a look at the statistics, and then we'll take a look at the next game. Units killed 186 to 189 losses for Mighty Space Fruit. So they have a similar KD actually. It's just Alexander's economy never took off. 9 buildings razed, none lost. Largest army of 83. Mighty Space Fruit with far, far more economy. Getting trapped in your starting region is really rough here. That is the way that the map is intended to be. It is intended to force players to invest heavily in Feudal Age, so you don't get trapped and lose access to gold. So Mighty Space Fruit with better Castle Age and Imperial Age time, but Alexander with better Feudal Age time. Relic gold 3,641, 13 relics captured. Now let us return to the replays. Game 2. Will Alexander get revenge? That is what we are going to find out. Hey, Crazy Joe, welcome. So this map was made by Jasuni. Jasuni is a friend of mine. This is the Yukon Gold Rush. The map is intended to show off the Yukon River. Supposed to have villagers panning for gold here, and it looks like that's exactly what Biscuits is doing. Biscuits like, yeah, sure, I'll pan for some gold. You start off with these 3 villagers that are next to a mining camp that's built in the river. And the river has some shallow shorefish, but no deep fish. And Alexander is playing as a civilization which gets mule carts. So let's talk about that. So we've got Biscuits playing as the blue Sicilians, and we have Alexander playing as the yellow Armenians. So he chooses Armenians so that he can get access to this mule cart instead, and he can just have his lumber camp working immediately. I agree this is an underrated map. I've said this before on other streams, but you know, there are a lot of complicated maps in our community. They're like maps that have very elaborate designs, or there's all kinds of different variables that you have to account for. And that can be good, but it's also good. It's also amazing what you can do with a simple concept. And sometimes in random map scripting, simpler is better than complex. Biscuits, he says he likes this map, but he's not sure how to best play it. Well, that's the point. So you start with this horse. This is not a Hunnic horse. This is just a horse. Alexander deciding to build a dock here, so he's either going to fish with his villagers, or he's going to build fishing ships. Because this map is, you don't start with a scout that can deal damage to enemy units, because you've got villagers that are starting far away, generally, from town centers. So it's kind of like Highland, actually, just like it's simple. There's just a river going through the center, but you can cross the river at any point. It's big, open, there's lots of space, there's lots of trees. It's not really cluttered up by anything. It feels like Arabia with kind of like a twist. I think that's what people like about it. See, you've got completely different strategies here. You've got Biscuits, who's just taking gold. And I'm not really sure why he's taking this gold, what he's going to do with it, but he is. Well, we've seen players like build a barracks immediately and do some kind of drush. We've seen players dock. But I've never seen players just straight up take gold just like this. No rock piles, that's right. The rocks are regarded as confusing to players. They don't know that you can hit the rock piles and spawn gold mines that way. So there could be decorations. You could have random rocks around somewhere for decoration. And we have some maps have more of them than others. But you shouldn't have any rock piles. You shouldn't have anything that you can interact with to create a gold mine. So Mighty Space Fruit here, sheep scouting his opponent. I'm not sure what that is. I think maybe he found one of Alexander's goats and used it to scout his map. Let's take a look at the Fog of War here. I mean, that does tell him where his opponent is. Uh-oh. Alright, he manages to survive. That's an important win. So now he's going to come around. He's going to look for a lumber camp. Biscuits is. He's going to see some deer. Now, the deer are not afraid of horses. Okay, so he finds the lumber camp. But it's not as big of a deal because it is Armenians and it's a mule cart, so his opponent could just move it. But he knows where his opponent is taking wood, at least for now. Finds the mill. Keeping an eye on his opponent. Let's take a look at it from Alexander's point of view. Alexander's getting close to having the food to click up. He can drop off hunted meat at his mule cart, and he's doing so now. And he should be pretty close to clicking. Oh, he's 3 food away. Alright, but he clicks up anyway. So, he wants a pretty fast advancement. I'm not exactly sure what he's going to do with it. It looks like he does have a few fishing ships here. It is an attractive option on this map. Biscuits, he says, running into the enemy TC is a trademark action of mine. Oh, I see. Well, you're very good at guessing. He's very good at guessing where his opponent's TC is. Almost too good, in fact. So, what's Alexander going to do with this? Well, he's building a barracks. I'm wondering if we're going to see, like, long swords in the feudal age or something. Now, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that Armenians get... Oh, look at this. Alexander discovering that his opponent has docked as well. Let's take a look at Biscuits. I believe that Armenians get access to infantry upgrades in age early or something to that effect. Now, the Mighty Space Fruit, aka Biscuits, has not built any fishing ships, but he is using the dock to fish with his villagers. And he is just clicking up now. So his advancement is coming on 27 villagers. It looks more like Fast Castle from Biscuits. But he's got extra gold, so I'm wondering if he's going to build a market and buy some resources or something to click up. We'll have to keep an eye on that. But so far, it does seem that Biscuits is planning a Fast Castle, and Alexander is planning a Feudal Age strike. He's in Feudal Age now. Oh, okay. He's going to build a demolition ship, and now he's building the militia. So, doesn't quite have the resources to do what he wants, I think. Biscuits confirming they do, excluding Man-at-Arms in the Dark Age. Okay, that's what it is. So he's got 3 militia here, and he's going to go look for his opponent and try to find some damage. And he's making an explodey ship in case he sees some villagers on fish. So actually, if you're Alexander, you do not engage this. You do not engage this. What you do is you send your demolition raft over there and you surprise him with that instead. But Alexander blowing his cover. Oh well. They are Man-at-Arms now, so they're a little bit more potent, but I think Biscuits is going to get them to safety. So Biscuits, he's sending some villagers off this way. What is this? Alexander, good with the Man-at-Arms micro. Biscuits, no, Biscuits, not like this. So Biscuits is trying to get this villager back now. This Man-at-Arms is going to block it. Alexander kills a villager with a Man-at-Arms, and 1 Man-at-Arms does go down to the villagers, though. And we are building a donjon. Okay. So Biscuits, he wants to infest this area with donjons. He wants to build donjons all along this river and deny gold from his opponent. He's got a demolition raft as well. Alexander pulling back. Are these guys going to get blown up by the demolition raft? No. The demolition rafts are going to cancel each other out. Ah, that's too bad. I was really hoping to see some Man-at-Arms get blown up by demolition ships. We love that kind of thing on this channel. Donjon goes up, villagers garrison within, and now jump outside of. Oh, that was a little bit sloppy from Biscuits. That's okay, though. These guys are, like I said, 14 to 1500, so they play better than I do. But it was just weird that Biscuits jumped out, picked a fight with a weak villager, and then that villager was killed. But it'll be okay. He got the donjon up. He's kind of secured this area. Here's a demolition raft. Fishing ships. That one goes down. That was kind of... I don't know if Alexander intentionally blocked that or if it was just bad pathing. But either way, he kind of came out on top over there. I feel like he didn't really get much value for that. Alexander keeping an eye on this location too. Maybe he feels like his opponent's going to cross there. Let's undo the view lock. I always accidentally click that because I'm a sloppy clicker. Which is... You would think that I wouldn't be because I love to micro monks, but... So let's actually what's Mighty Space Fruit's food situation? Not good. He's on his way up to the Castle Age, so that's what's important. He's on his way up to the Castle Age. I think he did use the market a little bit. Maybe not, though. He's going to break down and build some farms. Now, Sicilians get extra food for the farm upgrades, so the farms will be more efficient. I think maybe he was hoping to just build Castle Age farms for maximum farm efficiency, but it didn't quite work out. Let's take a look at his villager count. He's got 32 villagers, and his opponent, Alexander, has 34. Alexander, however, has not clicked up yet. He's getting wheelbarrow, and then he'll probably click up. So, interestingly enough, we see a skirmisher. Maybe... Oh, okay. This is why. Because Alexander has made some archers. Alexander is in the back of Biscuits' base, and Biscuits is trying to get out of there. He's going to slowly accumulate the wood for a town center, and I think he wants to build a town center like right here or something. Maybe he'll build it on the stone and the deer. Yeah, it looks like he's going to build it right here. He gets to Castle Age, and boom, there's a town center. And so it's true, he's got some archers running around, but as long as he can kind of stay alive and try to minimize the damage, his resources will be relatively secure. Alexander has managed to pick off some villagers, though, which is a good win for him. He's got 34 villagers, and he has not clicked up. So Alexander really needs to make things happen. Biscuits is once again faster. Faster to the Castle Age. But this time, Alexander's the one that's done some feudal damage. So we'll see. Will that feudal age damage end up translating into a win for Alexander? Or will Biscuits outboom him and catch up? We just don't know. Look at this micro nerd. Alexander running back and forth with the archers. Winning the fight against the skirmisher. There's another skirmisher out. The skirmishers they're pretty cheap units. They're kind of expendable. Sorry, little guys, but it's true. What's Alexander got going on over here? What's Biscuits got? Oh, look at this. Biscuits has some surgeons. Okay. I think maybe he just made those from this donjon. So he's going to come in here for a donjon rush. A sneaky donjon rush in the back. I love this. So this is what we need to pay attention to. But because Alexander is doing this, he's not going to notice this. Let's see Alexander's Fog of War. Actually, Alexander can and should be able to see that. He should be like, oh, snap. My opponent's donjoning my stone. That's not good. But he's too busy doing this. He'll see it, though. Don't worry, you guys. Looks like he's relocating some army up this way, so he may have noticed it already. Alexander is on his way up to the Castle Age. These surgeons have built the donjon, and maybe Biscuits will build another one. I feel that one donjon is not really enough to push in like this. I think that he should build another one, like right here or something. But surgeons are picking a fight. Oh, okay, he pulls it back. Yeah, I would build another one before trying to do much here. His opponent's going up to Castle Age. He is getting supplies. So this tells us that Alexander intends to invest in infantry. And it makes sense. The surgeons have a lot of pierce armor. It's hard for archers to overpower them. But Armenians have some silly thing where they get like a unique unit that ignores... What is it? Ignores armor or something like that. So apparently, they have what's called a composite bowman. And the composite bowmen are specially trained to recognize that an opponent's armor is weak at the neck and in the armpit. So they just shoot around your armor and they ignore it, which is really handy. So another town center for Alexander now that he's reached the Castle Age. He's also getting gambesons, which improves the armor of his swordsman. This is getting really exciting, actually. Alexander just running away with these villagers. I guess these villagers were like forward building villagers, and Mighty Space Fruit, he is going to pursue it. Alexander could walk this way, but if he does, he's dead because there's a bear there. It looks like he's going to try to make a break for it. No, he's not. He's just going to run. This is funny. The bear is scarier than the enemy army. And he plows back through, and he's going to come up this way. And he's going to hope that he has his town center up in time. Now, I believe that in Castle Age, Alexander can even get champions as Armenians. I'm not sure. Maybe it's just two-handed swordsmen. You guys will have to correct me. Mule cart just sitting here. Alexander should relocate that somewhere. Demolition Raft patrolling these waters for Alexander. He wants to keep Biscuits from getting the idea that he can just cross whenever he wants. Long swords. I know, but don't they get... Yeah, he's getting two-handed swordsman now, Alexander is. So Alexander is at 47 villagers, and the Mighty Space Fruit is at 55. So Biscuits is ahead in villager count of Alexander. So Alexander has a score lead, though, which tells us that Alexander has maybe more military going on, or has maybe some of the fish, the water control, gives him some score. I think score kind of accounts too much for water. Like, water is too big of a part of your score, in my opinion. But what do I know? I'm just a 1300 player. Alexander finally killing Mighty Space Fruit's horse. So Biscuits should know that he's there. These archers walking into some downhill fire from these skirmishers, though. This is a disaster. Yeah, that was not good. He lost like half of his army. The Armenians simply build a fortified church, and bam! Relic victory is no longer an option for the Mighty Space Fruit, unless he destroys this fortified church and then takes the relic. It's such a stupid bonus, honestly. I wish that there was something we could do to prevent Armenians from having this. It's kind of broken in standard maps. Or in standard victory condition, I should say. I don't really think they considered it. Maybe it's fine, though. Maybe it is not too bad with a proper map draft and everything. Alright, so Biscuits is sending more surgeons, and he's sending some villagers. He feels pretty comfortable. He's got some vision over this, so he can cross. And what's the plan? The plan is to build an outpost here. Outpost giving him slightly more vision than what this donjon gives him. Alexander content to just kind of let his opponent... Aha! The plan is a castle drop with composite bowmen. Oh, yikes. But Alexander has demonstrated that he has a two-handed swordsman here. This two-handed swordsman will be very effective at killing skirmishers, especially with Gambesons. Biscuits has to quick wall this out. So these swordsmen cannot get in here, although all of these skirmishers will die unless he can withdraw them, which is what he's doing. So he pulls the skirmishers back, and he focuses on his castle drop. This is a smart castle. It will deny that gold. Let's take a look at Alexander and see Alexander's point of view. So if you're Alexander, you see that castle go up. Alexander is actually kind of close to having the resources to click up to the next stage. He could sell a bunch of... He could build a siege workshop, first of all, and then sell the rest of his wood and buy the food that he needs to click up. But he's going to build a defensive castle instead, which is even smarter. So he builds the defensive castle, he uses the market, and then he clicks up, and then he trebs down Biscuits' castle. That's my prediction. That's what I think is going to happen in the next few minutes of the game. He doesn't need to use the market yet because his castle isn't up yet. But once that castle goes up, you can bet that Alexander will be clicking. Castle goes up. Alexander builds a warrior priest for some reason, but he also clicks up to the castle for the Imperial Age. Which town center does he do it from? Okay, he does it from this one. He didn't do it from this one. This one would have been the best one. And this one, but he didn't do it from this one. This one would have been the worst one. He did it from the one that was in between. So, that's okay. Fortified church here, keeping things safe. Surgeons. So, like, Mighty Space Fruit should be denying this. Like, there's no reason that this should be going up. He's just kind of... Same as last game, but last game he at least had enough of an advantage. But, like, Alexander's ability to just boom out to areas of the map that are important without contest, he just does this. If Mighty Space Fruit had been able to stop this, then Alexander would have had no access to gold, right? Like, right now, Biscuits has map control, but it's not really getting him anything because he's not denying resources from Alexander. Or, he's denying some resources, but you have to deny all the resources. Otherwise, you don't really get value out of it. So this town center goes down. Alexander sends out some more gold miners. Biscuits is kind of just letting Alexander take the resources here, which is unfortunate for Biscuits, but very fortunate for Alexander. Also, no siege investment from Biscuits, which I think is a mistake. Alexander now dropping a castle in this location because he wants to secure this gold better and he wants to secure this stone better, and Biscuits is still screwing around with destroying a blacksmith and damaging a fortified church. He should be up here pressuring this. This is how you get in. So we've got some composite bowmen here. Alexander has reached the Imperial Age. Trebuchet is automatically queued up, and he is going to push the Sicilian castle away. So, Mighty Space Fruit, Biscuits, our beloved intrepid hero, underdog. I'm just kidding, I'm not rooting for anybody. But I will say that I appreciate the fact that Biscuits is here. He is on his way up to the Imperial Age, and he has over 100 villagers, so he's not in terrible shape. Alexander, meanwhile, only has 72 villagers. So, Biscuits with a 30 villager advantage, but I think he's going to lose a lot of his momentum here. And that's never ideal. You never want to lose your momentum like this. You built all this investment. This Trebuchet is going to come and just tear this castle down. The donjons, the surgeons have built another donjon, and he's actually destroyed this monastery, which is kind of funny. And now he just needs to steal the relic. There's one other relic over here. Let's see how many relics Biscuits has, actually. I don't see his monastery. Maybe he has none. And he just destroyed that monastery just to keep Alexander from having the relic. The composite bowmen are a big threat to my surgeons. It's true. This unit knows to target the surgeons where their armor is non-existent, where they have no armor. This is the only archer in the game that can shoot that accurately. The disadvantage is that their range is only 4, which is pretty bad for an archer. Although, it's the same as a Genoese crossbowman and a plumed archer and such. So, I guess it's not terrible, but that is the price that they pay for that skill, is their range is lower. So, Alexander, he's taken this castle down, he's taken this donjon down over here, and now he's slowly starting to push his opponent. Mighty Space Fruit has reached the Imperial Age. Is it too late? Now, he is going to have more resources than Alexander, but Alexander has momentum. And Alexander has a unit that, well, it's going to be really hard for Biscuits to deal with this unit. How do Sicilians deal with composite bowmen? What do you guys think? What do they do? Do they... I can't really think of anything. I guess maybe they could go skirmishers, and that's kind of what Biscuits has here. I don't know if Sicilians get all of the upgrades for skirmishers. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. We could always just check, I suppose. Let's come over here and see, because I think it's a big enough deal to discuss. You know, if you are Mighty Space Fruit, what do you do? Well, okay, you get Elite Skirmisher, you get Arbalister. Let's take a look at their Blacksmith. They're missing the final armor upgrade for their Skirmisher, so their Skirmishers will melt, which is not good. So maybe they can use Onagers, Siege Onagers. Here we go, this is it. Knights, well, I thought that the composite bowmen would even ignore the armor from Hauberk Cavaliers of Sicilians. No, I think Siege Onagers are the way. He needs Siege Onagers. He needs Siege Onagers and Surgeons. And he just needs to grind his way through. The Surgeons to defend against melee units, and the Siege Onagers to defend against these composite bowmen. But then the problem is that because Alexander is a better civ, he will just create monks that can convert the Siege Onagers. Exactly. See, Biscuits, he knows. He knows, he clarifies. Yeah, the Mighty Space Fruit, he's in somewhat of a pickle here. Now, the good news for him is that he still controls the river, and it looks like Alexander is actually out of gold. I mean, I guess there's this gold here which Alexander could take. Alexander has not yet gained access to the river, although he does have a relic, and he's building another castle here, so he'll secure this relic as well. Siege rams. I like siege rams too. However, I'm curious if the composite bowman's attack ignores the armor of siege rams as well. That would be pretty broken if it did. I don't think that it does. That would make them better against siege rams than Chokunus. So Biscuits has built a castle here, but I think Alexander's going to try to push it. We'll see. A couple of siege workshops, but I definitely think siege onagers are the play. It's what he needs. Let's see the fog of war. Okay, so Biscuits is loading up some rams. I do love rams, but I don't know if they work in this situation. You need something to remove composite bowman from the map. It does not ignore siege armor. That's good to know. This is actually kind of a sneaky attack when you think about it, because Alexander was just pushing over this way, and now Biscuit shows up over here with some siege rams. He ignores the town center and goes straight for the castle, which is smart. Siege rams are really tanky. This single villager is pecking on it, not really doing much damage. And Alexander has to send his economy to deal with it. And once this castle goes down, I think the surgeons will pop out and kill some villagers. Yep. Alexander has deployed trebuchets to destroy this castle. Looks like there are a few champions working on this siege ram. Biscuit's trying to use mobility. Oh, but Alexander with a big composite bowman raid over here. This one I missed. And Biscuits just kind of has to ignore it. He can't deal with this right now. He can build some donjons in his base, I suppose, to keep things safe. Castle goes down. Town center goes down. And Biscuits is rampaging through the eco now with some surgeons. The champions are here, though. Champions are more cost-effective than surgeons are. Biscuits will need some proper counter to champions. Probably heavy scorpions. I don't know if Sicilians get heavy scorpions. Let's check. I think that they do. Yes, they do. That'll be very helpful. This raid was a big problem. He didn't have an army back home. It's true. Did a lot of damage that way. He's down to 132 villagers, boys and girls. Biscuits is. Still, Alexander not on the gold. Playing very defensively. But I think that this ram will destroy this fortified church, which is funny. And then maybe Biscuits can get some relics, but it doesn't look like he's placed any emphasis on that at all. Picking up any relics, which is unfortunate. Because all civs should be able to get relics. All civs have access to monks and monasteries. Even the Huns have monks. And Huns should still take relics when the opportunity affords. They may not, do much with the monks, but they can and should. So the fortified church goes down. This ram comes back. It's pretty injured. There's a ball of skirmishers here. And these Gambeson champions are ready, though. They have 6 pierce armor. The skirmishers deal 6 damage apiece. So that is 1 damage per shot. Technically, the armor is enough to completely negate. Oh, no! Mighty Space Fruit is coming forward. Okay, he was trying to repair this ram, and the bear had something to say about that. The bear was like tackling the villagers that were trying to repair this ram. And now we got ourselves a fight over here. Alexander realizing that Biscuits is coming in from this side, and so he sends his army over this way. He rolls the trebuchets forward. He probably wants to clear out these buildings, prevent Biscuits from doing anything over here. But Biscuits does manage to win this fight, and so he's got to get away with the surgeons, and he's got to garrison them in the rams. Alexander deciding to pull back because Biscuits has more military in this location. So these guys are kind of grinding it over here. I'm amazed that Alexander can hold on with such poor gold access. I mean, let's take a look at Alexander's gold situation. He's got 20 villagers on gold. Basically, once this gold dries up, he's out of gold. He can't do anything. So, except make skirmishers and other bad units. So, he will have to go to the river. We will watch that closely. These gold piles are about to evaporate. Got only a few more seconds. Alright. So now Alexander is officially out of... Wait, what? Where is this? Where is he taking gold? It must just be a villager trying to drop off its gold somewhere. So Alexander's out of gold. This is kind of his last push to try to secure gold. If Alexander fails in this push, then I think Biscuits will win, because Alexander does not control the map. He doesn't control gold. He's got 3 on gold somewhere. I don't know what's going on. Alexander deciding to make his move here. So he drops a castle foundation. He sends his trebuchets forward. Biscuits' army is in disarray. But we should note that the reason this is happening is because Biscuits let Alexander build this town center right here. If this town center hadn't gone up, Alexander wouldn't have been able to take this gold. Without this gold, Alexander wouldn't have been able to afford trebuchets and army to push Biscuits off of this castle. And if Biscuits' castle here hadn't gone down, then Alexander wouldn't have been able to take this gold. And then because Alexander was able to take this gold, he's able to afford to do this. Wage war. And now he's built this castle here and he's secured additional gold. So this is kind of a tale of momentum here. Of Alexander slowly, and maybe a little bit because of luck and a little bit because of skill, able to misdirect Biscuits and get Biscuits to commit his army to the wrong places so that he can slowly take gold here and there where he needs and push his opponent back. See, Biscuits, although he's got a villager advantage over Alexander, Alexander only has 77 villagers. He can't, seems like he can't really take a good fight. He's up against an army which is superior to his, although I really love this skirmisher raid. So Biscuits now recognizing, yeah, I need to stop my opponent from taking gold. But it would have been a lot easier if he'd just done it over here 20 minutes ago. So Alexander really wants this gold. He's only got 17 in the bank. If Biscuits can somehow keep Alexander from taking any more gold, he could very well win. But it's kind of uncertain who's going to win now, because Alexander keeps getting more and more gold access. But it looks good for Alexander because his army is better. Alexander only 77 villagers. He's got like 50 army. Let's take a look at Biscuits' economy. Biscuits is at 133 villagers still. He says, I was running low on donjons to keep producing surgeons. Would have been good to go into heavy scorps or onager or something. Yeah, something to answer these Gambeson champions and the composite bowman. That's a very killer combination that the Mighty Space Root, because he doesn't have an army composition that's efficient against that, he's losing ground, and that allows Alexander to come in here and take this gold. This is a gold expensive army. This is a gold unit, and this is a gold unit. They're both gold units. Champions don't cost as much gold, but they still cost gold. So what is the Mighty Space Fruit doing? Well, now the Mighty Space Fruit, aka Biscuits, is out of gold. I mean, he's got to sell resources to get the gold that he needs. He's got 30 on wood, though. I guess he could still come over here and take gold if he wanted to. But he's in big trouble. He's got army in his base, and he's down to 100 villagers, and he essentially has no military, so he calls the GG. His opponent just overwhelms him with superior military options. But this was a very good set, so Alexander does get his revenge. Let's take a look at the statistics. So Alexander, look at that KD right there. That is a KD of a winner. That KD is the reason why Alexander won this game. If they had a similar KD to the first game, Biscuits would have won as well. But Alexander had access to a unit composition due to gold access, but also due to a civilization that was very hard for Biscuits to adapt to. Biscuits with a bigger economy across the board. Alexander with better feudal age, better imperial age time. Biscuits with better castle age time. Look at this castle age difference. Like, this is damning. Society stats. Biscuits with 138 villagers to Alexander's 91. Alexander with 773 relic gold, but no relics at the end of the game because Biscuits kept destroying his fortified churches. And then Alexander with the dramatic spike up toward the end. Hey, Crazy Joe, have a great Thanksgiving. Give the cat a little piece of turkey for me. See you later, Crazy Joe. Thanks for joining us. We do have one more set scheduled for everyone else that can stick around. We'll begin that set in just a moment. But first, yeah, the next set is E1ST versus Wizanatic. So, show where they are. So these guys, remember, these guys are 2K players. Whereas Alexander is, I think he's Indian, but maybe he's living in Canada or something. And Biscuits is American, West Coast, I believe. Wizanatic and E1ST are both German. So, actually, our top 3 players are all German. It's kind of funny. There's a lot of German speaking community actually here with us. I think the German community just likes custom maps for whatever reason. Let's take a look at their civilization draft. So, this is the next round. So, the map of the round is Kenai Peninsula. And then they took turns banning maps. Chandelar Lake, Yukon Gold Rush, Columbia, but not in that order. Chena Hot Springs, Utqiagvik, and Denali until they were left with Kodiak at the end. So, this is going to be a fun cast today because we're going to get four unique maps, which is always good. I like to feature different maps in the same video. So Kenai Peninsula hasn't been played very much. I think players are kind of afraid of it. It's a very aggressive map, and you'll see why when we get in there. Then Kodiak is a Cookie Pirate classic. So their civilization draft is such. Wizanatic banning the Georgians, the Mayans, and the Malyans. And E1ST banning the Persians, Koreans, and Japanese. A lot of hybrid civilization bans, but it makes sense because there are a lot of hybrid maps in Alchemy League because it's literally Alaska. There's water everywhere. So, with all of that having been explained, let's jump into the game. Yeah, you know, you should tell Q Philip that because he made the map for us, and he wasn't completely satisfied with how it came out, but everybody's been saying it's a great map. Oops. So I'll pause here and sec. Let me change over the show. So Kenai Peninsula, what is it? Well, you start with 2 players that are very close together, and immediately we see the sheep fights. See E1ST and Wizanatic coming over here. These guys are 2K players. Every sheep matters. E1ST wants to steal these sheep. Wizanatic wants to steal them back. Wizanatic sending a villager this way. And E1ST is just going to lame the sheep now because he can't have them to himself. He kills the sheep, and Wizanatic's going to try to kill the scout, but he's not going to succeed. Oh, poor Wizanatic, just barely losing the scout. 1 hit away, E1ST garrisoning his town center, so Wizanatic is already kind of at a disadvantage here on this map. E1ST just barely managing to out-edge him in the scout war. But you can see why players have been so afraid of this map. So now Wizanatic is going to lame in E1ST's berries as revenge. But already we're off to a lot of action. I think it's a pretty map. It reminds me a lot of Four Lakes, actually. You know, because you don't really know which lake your opponent is going to dock. You know it's back here. There's some risk involved. I mean, there's food bears that you could run into. So you have to be very careful. There's stone along the edges of the map, too. This was done to discourage tower rushes, since there's, like, no stone underneath your town center. So how are you going to do that unless you go out to the edge of the map? And it kind of does look, actually, the most like the real-life Kenai Peninsula. I really like the organic nature of this map. Like, it feels like a place in real life. The biggest weakness is some people could argue that the town center distribution is not fair because this guy is, you know, closer to more water and less land, and this guy is closer to more land and less water. But I think it's not a big deal. I think that, you know, the players are starting so close together, the game is going to be decided before somebody runs out of land or fishes out all the water anyway. So Wizenatic back here, he can't really... What is this? What? What is he doing? He's just got to get out of there. I don't know what... I don't really know. So this Eagle Scout would love to block this villager, but E1ST knows that Wizenatic is a 2K player as well, so Wizenatic will doink his Eagle Scout if he does. Wizenatic pulling back. What is Wizenatic's understanding of his surroundings? Let's take a look. I mean, he knows where his gold is. He knows where his wood is. His problem is food. So he's got 3 villagers here. Or sorry, 3 sheep here, and he really needs to do something about his food situation. Otherwise, his people are going to go hungry. He's sending more villagers out. And what's this going to be? I don't really know. I think Wizenatic might despise this map. I'm not sure, though. He did play a very messy game with Oladushek on the map. What is this? He's just gonna villager fight. Pull that villager back. And he's going to try to pick off... Are you serious? What the heck? He was outnumbered in villagers, and Wizenatic's just like, yeah, I'm just going to come over here and fight you. I'm just going to waste your time, and I'm going to micro my villagers a little bit better than you. Oh my goodness. Wizenatic is actually a really fast player, so for him it makes sense. Wizenatic is like just super good with macro. I've cast many of his games. I've seen him play many times. He's very good at controlling everything about his empire. Guerrillaville warfare, exactly. So Wizenatic's just like, okay, yeah, I just need a villager pick-off to even things out because I'm low on food, so here I come. And he's going to do it again. He's going to send 2 more villagers up there, and he's just going to harass E1ST and just pick off villagers. He's built a dock back here. I think he's kind of heavily invested. Now he's only got 4 on wood, but he's fishing. And where are these villagers going? I'm not sure. He's probably going to build another lumber camp, maybe. I don't know. Or he's going to try to build a mill. He needs all of the wood he can get, though. And he's again picking a fight with E1ST and being forced to withdraw. And he's going to prowl around and look for another weak villager. And where are these villagers going now? No one can tell you. Oh, he finds a wolf. That's not good. He's got to fight that wolf. Luckily for him, he's got loom, so he can win. But he's looking for a food bear, I think. I think that's what he's looking for. He spreads his villagers out, and he's looking for the food bear. He needs to build a house, though. He's probably already building one. Yep, there it is. Maybe he wants to dock his opponent's side of the map. I'm not sure. He's going to take some fish. He has no scout because E1ST edged him out in that regard. He's got 21 villagers. Let's see how many villagers E1ST has. E1ST has 18 villagers. So Wizenatic really pressuring E1ST with his superior macro. E1ST is taking this food bear back here. He has not gone out to dock anything at all. We should also mention that Wizenatic's villager count probably accounts for the fact that he's got these fishing ships here. I'm not exactly sure, but I think it does. And he's built a mill, and he's going to take this fish on E1ST's side of the map, which is kind of funny. I think a dock would have been more efficient, but, yeah, oh well. Because if we look at this, I think this is actually, yeah, this is all connected out here. So he could have just docked this. But a dock was slightly more wood, so that's fine. Plus, he could drop off food bear meat at this mill, which you can't do with a dock. Hey, I don't think any of the players in this map are overrated. Cookie. So lumber camp, another lumber camp for Wizenatic. He's actually somehow Wizenatic is close to clicking up. Let's take a look at E1ST. E1ST is already clicked up. He's got 21 villagers. He has not attempted. Oh nope. Here it is. Here's E1ST's dock. I just missed it. So E1ST needs to come out here and explore this a little bit more. I'm sure that he'll find there are more... Yeah, there's more fish to be taken in this area. Just doesn't see it. So he's got 5 fishing ships. So that would put him at 16 villagers. And Wizanatic has 26 villagers. And 6... Oh, look at this. This is very important. So he sees that E1ST is over here building a dock. So he sends some villagers. I'm not sure what this is all about. I think that these villagers are here just to shank this. This dock does go up. And now E1ST is going to build some fire ships. But he's going to retreat this villager out this way. This scout is still weak. Wizanatic finds the dock, but he does not find the villager anymore. And he's looking for the villager. So Wizanatic sees the villager and he's like, "Come here, you little punk." And he wants to kill it. It's like, get the hell out of here. And we saw he fought this same battle with Oladushek in a previous set of the league, so he kind of knows. He does manage to break through there. Villager coming. Oh. So now Wizanatic is probably going to wall this in, maybe. Nope. He's got to withdraw because there's a fire ship here. And E1ST making a break for it. And Wizanatic is fighting him, but I think the fire ship is helping. He's got to withdraw the villager. And he's got to withdraw the other villager. So this villager is here. But Wizanatic has bought himself enough time to get to the feudal age. So now he can make a fire galley. And he's also going to build a house. What's going on over here? Well, Wizanatic has found this food bear. I thought he might, but E1ST knows about it. I don't think E1ST is in the position to stop Wizanatic from taking this food bear. So Wizanatic's dock, let's see, he's... Where's his fire ship? I thought he would build a fire ship. I guess not. He's got 2... He's Goths. Wizanatic is Goths. Okay, that explains a lot. Because Wizanatic was able to get Loom immediately. I didn't even introduce the civs. It's Goths versus Armenians. Okay, so the Armenians have an archer here. Wizanatic needs to be careful. Oh! Villager goes down. Wizanatic with 29 villagers and E1ST with 27. So Wizanatic still has a villager lead over E1ST. E1ST is going traditional range, I think, and barracks, and Wizanatic's just doing something different. I think Wizanatic actually wants Fast Castle. Wizanatic's built a market. He has built a barracks, and what's he building right now? He's building an archery range. So he will be able to make some defensive skirmishers. The villager is trying to get out of there. It will not make it. It will go down, but I think that Wizanatic will be able to save these remaining 3. They have a relatively straight shot. He's trying to get this low HP villager to safety. No! E1ST kills it. Another villager goes down for Wizanatic. That's very unfortunate. I believe that that puts E1ST in the lead for villagers. No, it ties them. It ties them. Now, Wizanatic's fishing economy has pretty much been cleared out. E1ST has definitely invested more in feudal age than Wizanatic has, but Wizanatic is on his way up to the castle age. And he's got a few skirmishers here to try to hold on. He might need to build a couple more. And probably what we'll see happen is Wizanatic will mine gold and then buy stone and drop a castle. That's my prediction about what's going to happen. So see how heavily he is on gold, and he's not making any gold units, really. But the question is, can Wizanatic get away with it? Can he get away with Fast Castle, Gothic Fast Castle, and then Castle Drop? I'm skeptical. I don't think he can get away with it. I think that E1ST has too much feudal presence. And he's just in Wizanatic's economy too badly. But maybe Wizanatic can pull it off. Wizanatic's got some fires here. He's got 3 fire ships. So technically he has enough to take this. But there are more fire ships over here. So I wonder if we're going to see him sell a bunch of wood. He just hits the castle age. He could also build town centers. No, he's going to build a stable. Alright, it's going to be knights. He's going to make some Gothic knights to clear this up. It's true. I think he's making the judgment that he's just been too damaged to pull off a castle drop. He's making a knight. This villager has to get away. It actually will get away, which is kind of surprising. E1ST over here. Send some villagers this way, and he's going to build a barracks in the back of Wizenatic's base. This villager has to withdraw. Knight comes out. Knight will be pretty powerful. Knights are pretty powerful against feudal age units in general. Wizenatic getting the hill advantage against that scout. Chasing the scout away. He's probably going to make another knight once he has the food. Yeah, there it is. Another knight queued up. Knights are very effective against skirmishers. And there's a spearman here from E1ST. Wizenatic 30 villagers and is in Castle Age. E1ST is still in the Feudal Age, and he can make pikemen because he's Armenians, and they can just do that. And he is nowhere near clicking up to the Castle Age. In fact, I think he means not to. We see that Wizenatic and E1ST are fighting over water here. It looks like Wizenatic is going to secure water once again. He's going to be able to kill these two fishing ships for E1ST, which will be a good win for him. I don't know if E1ST is going to continue to invest in water. Doesn't look like he's building anything from these docks. Wizenatic's got to send his villagers because there are pikemen here for the Armenians. The pikemen managing to kill 2 knights, which is quite devastating, actually. And Wizenatic just saying, whatever, I'm building a tower. So Wizenatic throws a tower down there. I don't know. Yeah, that means he doesn't have enough stone to build a town center. I don't really think a town center is on his mind. He'd be happy just to sustain production from this one town center. He's Goths. Alright, tower goes up, and I think it's going to clear out and prevent this barracks from doing too much more damage. He's going to wall these barracks in, Wizenatic, because there's 2 barracks, and he's going to wall both of them in because he feels like he needs to. He does not want to deal with the pikemen. He wants to just make a few knights to clear off the pressure and then do his thing. Wizenatic over here sinking some fishing ships. But he is just locked in a brawl with E1ST. E1ST surely must be thinking about Castle Age. Yeah, there it is. So E1ST has decided, okay, it's time to go up to Castle Age. My opponent's making too many knights. He's got a tower now. I'm satisfied that I've done the damage I needed to do in Feudal Age. Let's go up to Castle. So E1ST going up to Castle Age on 37 villagers. Let's take a look at Wizenatic. Wizenatic has 32 villagers, but is already in Castle Age. He's built another mining camp on this gold. Wizenatic just really wants this gold for some reason. I feel like in his heart, he deeply wants a castle drop. Could you imagine Gothic Huscarls running around? Actually, don't the Armenian composite bowmen, not care about Gothic Huscarl pierce armor? So, but that's only in the case that the Armenians get a castle. They need castles to make those composite bowmen. So we got a couple of other archers looping around for E1ST here, but there's a knight to intercept them. E1ST pulls back. He doesn't want to deal with this. He's going to use the pikemen to fight the knight. Age of Empires is a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun when it devolves into the tavern brawl, where you've got Robin Hood and his merry men. They all show up with different weapons, and they're fighting the Sheriff of Nottingham and a couple of his henchmen, where it's just small armies fighting each other, very micro-dependent. That can be fun too, but it's exhausting. Oh no! Wizenatic has made a cavalry archer. That must have been a misclick. Probably meant to make a knight. So Wizenatic, seeing that E1ST is up to the Castle Age, what's the plan for E1ST? See if we can figure it out based on his resources. He's got a random red house in the back of his base. He's making pikemen and he's making crossbows. And he's going to make a knight. Wizenatic is going to make a siege workshop. He's afraid. You know, the knight is probably a response because he's expecting some siege from Wizenatic. So now E1ST will be ready. Wizenatic, he might make a monastery. E1ST with the bigger investment in military than Wizenatic. Look at all these units. It's got 13 military. Wizenatic just has 3. Plus a Scorpion. Gothic Scorpion. Wizenatic is reboomed here on water. Let's go back to that and see. He's got a few fishing ships at least. And, uh-oh, does Wizenatic not realize that there are some fire ships here? Is he still working on this dock? Looks like he is. The dock will go down. But I think that E1ST will actually destroy these fire ships successfully. At least I think the dock will go down. That would be really awkward. Oh, boy. And now E1ST can just make a bunch of fires from this 40 HP dock. And just do a ton of damage to Wizenatic. He can kill 5 of these fishing ships. And that's what he's looking for. Nope. He loops back around. So the 3 Scorpions. Scorpions are going to keep E1ST's army in check for now. Neither player has a castle. Neither player is anywhere close to a castle. Siege workshop for E1ST as well. Probably to make mangonels. And Scorpions are intended for these pikemen. And what's this? A university for Wizenatic. Now, that one's an interesting one to me. Why does Wizenatic need a university? Surely he's not thinking about Imperial Age, and he doesn't need ballistics. So, if somebody can explain what the heck this university is all about, I would love to learn. E1ST with a 1k score lead. His Fisher undisturbed. Wizenatic could be a little bit nervous about that. He maybe is thinking about doing a push. Wizenatic is getting ballistics. I'm wondering why. Knights see the mangonel. Actually, they don't see it. The house sees it, and the knights know about it. So he needs to be very careful not to let this mangonel flatten his Scorpions, which is what it wants to do. The Scorpions get away in time. Villager comes forward. E1ST is kind of turning this into a pike and mangonel push, which I really like. I'd love to see some monks mixed in there. You could... Yes! There it is. Speaking of monks, here's a fortified church. So Wizenatic deploying his knights, he will get this mangonel kill. This'll... Oh, no, he won't. He decides to withdraw. That's not good. As Goths, what do Goths do against mangonels? So now Wizenatic might consider making his own defensive mangonels, and that's exactly what he's doing. So he's going to make them, and then he's going to do the whole mangonel dance, and he's going to micro, and he's going to slow his opponent down that way. But the pike and the mangonel and the monk push can be really hard for a non-monk civilization to deal with, especially when there's a mass of pikes like this, because you can only make so many light cav before the pikes just... once you have this number of pikes, there isn't really a number of light cav that can effectively dispatch a monk rush. That was a good hit for Wizenatic. Didn't kill, but considering that he took very little damage in return, it was a good exchange. E1ST flattening another Scorpion. Scorpion, that's actually bigger than a bigger deal than you might think, because the Scorpions are what's keeping the pikemen in check. Knights coming in. There is a monk out. The monk is attempting to convert. I believe that conversion will be successful. There it is. Knight goes down. Wizenatic, though, he's got 3 weak knights, and he needs to be very careful. He's going to dive the other mangonel. The other mangonel is out of range of the fortified church. Will it go down? No, he manages to save it. So that's a good save from Wizenatic. And now, this knight that E1ST converted takes out Wisnatic's defensive mangonel. So Wisnatic's in big trouble. His knights are gone, and he doesn't really have any army to defend this anymore. But Wisnatic is starting to amass some stone. So we'll probably see a defensive castle. The question is where. Resources are relatively safe, although there is a knight raid here, which is unfortunate. 3 villagers going down for Wisnatic, so it's 51 villagers for Wisnatic against 60 villagers for E1ST. So E1ST, with his 3 town centers, is slowly starting to pull ahead. Very aggressive map, though. Oh my goodness, this is crazy. This is crazy. This is a very aggressive castle for Wisnatic. This is a do-or-die castle, really. He does manage to kill this mangonel with his own. Oh my goodness. Wow. I think this is a doer. Yeah, this is a die castle. He's not quite able to get this mangonel out. He's lost so many villagers building this castle, but it does go up. Wow. Oh my goodness. But is Wisnatic dead now? And he calls the GG. The answer is yes. If this castle had gone up in early Castle Age, it may have been a different game with Huskarls running all through the eco. But Wisnatic was too worn down, I think. He didn't want to risk it. And built his castle there. It is enough. Let's see how many villagers Wisnatic ended with. 33. Lot of damage, though. Very, very brutal map. Wisnatic almost might even argue that he might even argue that the game was decided in Dark Age by the scout fight. But it was very fun for us to watch, and I think that it was back and forth for a while. Alright, now let's go and take a look at the next game. So the statistics: 89 kills, 85 losses, but the difference is that E1ST was in Wisnatic's economy. So we can see that he's got a lot more wood collected, a little bit more food collected. Wisnatic with more stone and gold, though. Villager high of 67 to 59. 1 relic captured because of Armenians. Game 2. So game 2 is on Kodiak. We've got Wisnatic now playing as the Armenians and E1ST playing as the Italians. So remember, guys, that the map is free pick, no repeat, but it wasn't really ever defined or clear that whether or not you can pick your opponent's civilization. In other words, the civilization that they picked last time. So I can't really weigh in on whether or not that was intended. So we just have to accept it because it wasn't clearly defined by the players. So Kodiak was made by Cookie Pirate for Alchemy League Season 4. E1ST going directly in for the Deer Push. It's similar to a Rapa Nui map that he made. There's these outlying islands. It's based off of Kodiak Island in real-life Alaska. So we haven't really seen many players go out to these islands and use them for anything. I think it's because the map is too aggressive. I think that the players just end up fighting over this ridge in the center, and that's fine. The maps, the islands are there, they look pretty. It's a little bit more like Socotra in that sense, which is regarded as a legitimate map. So, Wisnatic coming back here, and he's going to dock immediately as the Armenians, I think. He should try to avoid that food bear, though. That could be pretty dangerous. Yeah, okay, so he knows where it is. He just needs to make sure that the coastline doesn't have any food bears nearby. Because you don't want to send your villager out, especially since he has no loom, and have it get killed by the food bear if it's nearby the coast. So he was smart to check for that. He knew that there was nothing here, and then he went out. So he's going to build the dock, he's going to build the house, and then he's just going to take some fish. Let's talk about strategy here. Italians versus Armenians. I think that Italians have a little bit of an earlier game advantage. Let's take a look at the Armenian tech tree. Mule carts are cheaper, their technologies are 40% more effective. I'm not exactly sure what that means. Does that mean like mining and gathering upgrades and such? These could be good feudal age bonuses. Non-unique barracks units available 1 age earlier except man-at-arms. Infantry +2 line of sight. So E1ST coming out here, and he's probably going to look for a good dock location as well. Okay, so Italian fishing ships cheaper, and their feudal ages are also cheaper. So we could see E1ST click up to the feudal age first. He's got his food bear there, he hasn't taken yet. Players tend to take the food bears later on this map because other resources are available. What in the world? A mining camp? Stone? A tower rush? What? What is this? I do not understand this at all. Well, we'll have to keep an eye on this. This looks like some kind of early tower aggression for E1ST. I don't know. I've never seen it before. It could be very successful. It's exciting, certainly, that he would attempt it. Wisnatic playing a little bit more traditionally, I think, with the fishing ships. Okay, E1ST coming out to take his first food bear. Have a little bit of a lure here. Yeah, the villager is injured, but he's long distancing it. It's not too bad. Now, guys, you start with, in case you guys are wondering why there's an eagle running around, let me see if I can find an example of one. So here's an eagle right here for Wisnatic. Armenians don't normally start with eagles, but the Alaska maps require eagles. So we did this to pay like a homage to the significance of eagles in Alaskan culture. Figured, it's an acceptable scout for the Mesoamerican civilizations or the New World civilizations, so it'd work for any of them. You just can't upgrade them later. Unless you are playing as one of those New World civilizations. So some stone under collection from E1ST. Some gold under collection. He only needs 440 food to click up to the next stage. Wisnatic is already feudal age. So Wisnatic has got some kind of very efficient build planned out. And E1ST is just clicking up. So I'm not really sure what's going on. Yeah, he's going to feudal age now. Maybe this is a fast castle type build, and he wants a castle, and he's just not. I bet that's it. I bet he wants to do fast castle, and he's not afraid of his opponent. He believes that the map is safe or defensible enough that he can just... Okay, here comes E1ST to fight this eagle off. Sends his own eagle back. Could be it. It only requires him 680 food to click up to the castle age, so could be a fast castle. He's building a barracks. He's not quite going to have the wood to build his feudal age buildings. No, he's building... Alright, he's building fire ships, so he's not fast castling. He's got 2 docks, but he needs to build another house. And Wizanatic is going galleys. Armenians get some kind of bonus to galleys. Let me remind myself what it is. I think they have to research... Galley line and Dromons fire an additional projectile. So they fire 2 projectiles. Genoese would not be that great against Armenians, though. It's true. I'm not really sure what would make Italians good against Armenians. It could be that E1SG just picked them because he thought that Italians would be good on this map in general. And Wizanatic picked Armenians because he thought that Armenians would be good on this map in general. Okay. Fire galley fight. I don't think that Wizanatic has the numbers to fight this. Generally, you need 4 or 5 galleys. Maybe even a little bit more than that. 6 or 7 to be safe before you can really start to engage fire ships of equal numbers. Fire ships are better in low numbers. So E1ST going the Italian fire ship route. For the Italians, their dock technologies are cheaper. But that's not really going to affect him very much right now because it's just feudal age. But toward the castle age, it'll really start to kick in. He's just got to get there. So he's at 28 villagers right now. Let's see how many fishing ships he's got. 4 fishing ships, and Wizanatic has the same, I believe. No, it's got 5. So it's very similar investment in fishing economy. So I think E1ST is done investing in ships. I think he's just going to try to get as much food as he can from these fishing ships, and he's going to let Wizanatic have water, which could be a mistake. So the galleys are going to come in for the kill. He's going to try to drop off one last load. And then the fishing ships are going to go down, and I don't think he's going to make any more. Let's check and see if he is trying, but I don't think so. Yeah, he's got 1 fire galley, probably left over. But there's nothing left to defend. So actually, what you do with that fire galley is you sneak around this way and you kill your opponent's fish. That's probably what he'll do. Oh no, he canceled it. I don't see it. So he canceled it, so he's just going to go up. He's going to go up and he's going to use these archers that he's made. So now it's the land pressure. Wizanatic is castle age, though. E1ST is just clicking up now. Wizanatic has an uninterrupted fishing economy. little bit of a villager dance here. E1ST picking off some villagers, which he needs to do because Wizanatic is ahead. Wizanatic's in Castle Age. The Armenians, I think the Armenians are just a little bit too strong. Maybe they're generally too strong on Alaska maps because of their mule cart. Or maybe they're just too strong in general. You guys can tell me whether or not Armenians are a problem on the ranked ladder as well. I like to think that we basically recreate the ranked ladder except with custom maps. So if the ranked ladder has a problem, we will see it as well. But the difference is that you pay the price of having to schedule with opponents, which is annoying. You can't just play whenever. But you get to play on custom maps. The only way back on water would be to castle the shoreline. But it seems like it makes more sense to go aggressive on land. I agree. I don't think he's going to go back on water. E1ST is now Castle Age. He is dropping a castle. Wow. This is a highly aggressive castle. On Wizanatic's forward golds. Oh my goodness. He's got some skirmishers here messing with him. And he's got... Wizanatic is sending everybody to come and stop this. E1ST sent more villagers out here to build the castle. Where are these villagers going? I believe that this castle will go up. The skirmishers and the villagers are not enough. Wizanatic has built his fortified church to get his free relic. But yes, this castle will go up, which is very unfortunate for Wizanatic. All of a sudden, you're looking around and you're like, oh shoot. Where am I going to take gold? And it looks like Wizanatic already has an answer. Let's take a look at Wizanatic's point of view and see where he's going, but I'm pretty sure that he has discovered that gold over there. He's going to take this stone and sell it. Oh no, he sees this gold. Okay, so he's going to take these resources here. This castle is very deadly. I don't know how many villagers E1ST lost doing that. Let's take a look. It looks as though Wizanatic has 40 villagers and E1ST has 32. So E1ST is 8 villagers behind, but it's not the end of the world. He's got a few Genoese crossbowmen and a few regular archers here. Genoese will destroy these cavalry archers, and he's pressuring Wizanatic's berries. Wizanatic has to withdraw from the berries. Not really sure where he could go, I guess. He's just going to build a random house here. And loses some villagers, too. E1ST is at 32 villagers, and the villager tracker for Wizanatic says 37. So they're getting inside of this fortified church, and these Genoese crossbowmen are going to take down... This is devastating, this right here. Like, look at this. Luckily for Wizanatic, though, he's got all of these fishing ships out here. So he can afford to have something like that. If he didn't have these fishing ships, it would be the end. It would be game over. But he does control the water. Wizanatic needs to get something up. He's got a siege workshop. I'm just looking and absorbing everything here. He sees that E1ST is building a siege workshop. And what's going on? This town center is about to go down. He's got his fortified church. He has another town center here. It doesn't protect any resources anymore. I guess it's kind of in the way if a siege weapon wanted to come over here and disrupt his lumber camp. But Wizanatic is in big trouble. Actually, if you're Wizanatic, this is one of those rare cases where maybe these outside islands are useful to you. Maybe you build a transport ship and you transport out here and you use this to prop up your economy. And maybe we'll still see that. I don't know. But it just doesn't seem like there's anywhere for him to go on land. Wizanatic is taking stone. So he will soon be able to build some defensive castles and or towers. A university from Wizanatic. He loves to build the universities. He's going to get ballistics again. Does not want to have to deal with his opponent out-microing ballistics. And to be fair, we have seen E1ST out-microing the units before. Or rather, his opponent out-microing a lack of ballistics. Out-microing ballistics itself would be very difficult. Their villager goes down. Good hit from E1ST there. Kills a couple skirmishers. I think that this university will go down. It's almost completed. But this is playing with fire here. And I think this mangonel is going to relocate around this way. Wizanatic has smartly walled this off so that his opponent can't wheel the mangonel all the way around and hit from the other side. So right now the momentum is definitely with E1ST. The only reason that Wizanatic's score is so good is because of these fishing ships. So E1ST feels, you know, if I can just kill this, I can kill my opponent. He built another mangonel, which is good because he just lost this one. So he'll be able to keep up the pressure. Tower going up for E1ST, denying some of this wood space, forcing Wizanatic further back. Wizanatic's wood resource is not bad, though. He's got 600 wood. He is not attempting to take resources over here. He feels that it's too close to his opponent, perhaps. His opponent is pretty much... I guess he's got 2 town centers, but he's only farming around one of them. So Wizanatic is going to try to drop a castle here. This is going to be one heck of a castle. There are 2 mangonels. Make that 1 mangonel defending. I think the E1ST just camps this right here. Kills villagers. He's got to be very careful. Ooh, that's not good. The mangonel just killed his mangonel. I don't know if E1ST is going to make another mangonel. He should. No, he's going to let the castle go up. He's going to let the castle go. I feel like Wizanatic got a really good deal on that castle. Because he was able to kill 2 mangonels just before he started building it. Cookie Pirate, you're always throwing shade at this map. The summer version is my least favorite appearance on this map. I like all of the appearances of this map. This is a beautiful map. Boom. 3 villagers going down for E1ST. That hurts. Wizanatic coming over here and building a proper town center on some wood. Maybe he'll be able to reclaim this free Armenian relic. E1ST's tower is still there. Actually, E1ST is headed up to the Imperial Age, so makes a lot of sense. He's going to go Imperial. He's going to make trebuchets. He's going to treb down his opponent's castle. So he kind of lets it go up in that regard. Wizanatic is doing wonders with these mangonels, though. But E1ST does manage to kill it. I don't know, should I be rooting against the Armenians? I want to see the Armenians lose a game in Alchemy League. I guess I've seen it before, but dang, they look tough. The players do too, yes they do. What's this? So E1ST hits the Imperial Age. Wizanatic is actually not far behind. And Wisnatic wants to drop a castle. He's got some composite bowmen in E1ST's economy. I think he's going to drop a castle right here as revenge. Yeah, and he knows that E1ST does not have the military to stop it. E1ST is making trebuchets first, though. He's got one trebuchet in queue, but he's not on gold. He's not on gold because he had to flee his gold. A castle is being built on top of his gold right now. But E1ST he does have military here, and he's going to get a number of villager kills. But Wisnatic sent so many villagers to build this castle that it's still going to go up. He's got to withdraw. Castle goes up. E1ST. He's building another trebuchet. He does have a big hill advantage, so that's a win for him. He's got this top of this hill secured for the most part. The castle's firing upon a portion of it, but oh my goodness, there's trebuchets everywhere. So he's trying to get this counter castle drop out of his base. He's trying to get this town center up. Now, a lot of villagers go down there. I think E1ST is in big trouble. And E1ST calls the GG. Yeah, his castle's about to go down. So, violent game, actually. Wisnatic had water, and the water kept him afloat. Water is a big deal on this map. I think there's a lot of fish. If we were to do this again, we might dial down the amount of fish, or maybe find some way of connecting these to the starting players. Maybe giving players a starting transport ship or something. But nevertheless, a good map, fun game. Wisnatic getting some revenge and tying it up 1-1 again. So I really appreciate you guys tuning in. Let's take a look at the statistics before we head out. So Wisnatic with the better military KD definitely had some advantage there with Mangonel micro and just unit micro in general. Also, the fact that he massacred water units with his galleys helped. Economy Wisnatic with the bigger economy, although E1ST collected more gold. E1ST faster Imperial Age slightly, but Wisnatic was up for the other ages faster. And Wisnatic capturing one relic, building 2 castles, and having villager high of 72. So it wasn't necessarily a big boomy map. But there was a while where E1ST was really putting the pressure on Wisnatic, but just couldn't quite kill him. So entertaining game for sure with its back and forths. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. Means a lot to me. We work very hard to put on Alchemy League. So I hope that we're able to grow the concept of the league and be able to reach more people. Cookie Pirate says maybe, but the fish is important on here because of very few huntables and herdables. That's true. That is true. Although there are plentiful bears. There are plentiful bears and berries. So, really appreciate you guys tuning in. I hope to be able to do more casts of Alchemy League. This one was an uncharacteristically long one, actually. It took me a little over 2 hours. There's some longer games involved. Most of them got to Imp and such. Actually, I think all of them got to Imp, really. So, which is kind of a good thing. We're trying to design maps to go to Imp. Maybe they don't necessarily are decided by Imp, but you have to fight in pretty much every age, so we get to see all those different options. That's the intent of the map designs. So I really appreciate you guys tuning in. Cookie Pirate, Mighty Space Fruit are here now, but many thanks to Crazy Joe and anybody else that tuned in. And hopefully you found the content compelling, and we're able to produce some more awesome seasons of Alchemy League for you, and more sets for this season, because we've got well, I mean, we're in the second sprint, and we're about halfway through it, so we've got a few more rounds to go. And the players are going to be ultra try-hard. They'll be playing at a very, very high level because it's twice the prize pool. So thank you guys so much, and hopefully we'll see you again soon.